Vishnuhu. Om Vishnuhu. Om Vishnuhu. Tat Vishnuhu. Paramang Padang. Sada Pashyanti Surya. Deviva Chakshuradatam. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat. I begin with an invocation, an ancient chant to Lord Vishnu, the preserver of the existence, the maintainer of all the worlds, Lord Vishnu. For you must know, first of all, that Ram, Jai Ram, beloved Ram, Ram was an incarnation of Vishnu, incarnated to fulfill a divine purpose in a particular time, Tretya Yuga. Vishnu is here, always here. And also, tonight, we welcome into our presence Hanuman. Hanumanji. He is here. He is here, and whenever the Ramayana is recited, Hanuman is there. Hanuman is there. It is also said that to hear even a small portion of the Ramayana will accelerate your own awakening. It will loosen the knots of your personal karma and advance you infinitely. So listen, my friends, to the Ramayana. Now, you must know that the Ramayana is a story of much more than just this earth plane, just this phenomenal existence which we take as real. The Ramayana takes in all the realms, from the underworld, the realm of the Asuras and the Rakshasas, demonic forces, all the way up to the highest heavens. Vishwamitra came to the court of Dasharatha. My lord Dasharatha, I must inform you of a condition that exists in the forest outside this kingdom. You know there are many rishis and sages and holy people who live in the forest, and they do their offerings to the gods, and they perform their tapasya. However, there are also in the forest many Rakshasas. And these Rakshasas, in their vile nature, cannot stand to hear the holy words. And so they chatter day and night and make noise. And they throw offal and waste onto the sacred fire. And the ceremonies cannot find fulfillment. Therefore, said Vishwamitra, I would like to take your son, Ram, into the forest, that he may protect the rishis and sages, that the ceremonies can be completed. Many years ago, the great Lord Shiva had come through Mithilia, and he had left his bow there, the bow of Rudra, a bow so gigantic that it had to be rolled out on a cart with 8 bullocks and men pushing from behind. And Janaka set this task that only the man who could bend and string Shiva's bow could marry Sita. Into this situation came the 2 brothers and Vishwamitra. And as they were walking in, Sita was on the balcony, and she looked down, and she saw these 3 people coming in, and she looked at Ram, and something happened to her heart. She thought, Who is this, she thought. Who is this? Is this the god Kama himself? The great god of love? I have never seen anyone with such fine carriage, such a noble face. Oh. She fell in love. How could it be otherwise? She was Lakshmi. And as the days progressed, all came, and none could even bend in the slightest the bow of Rudra. And many a prince went away disappointed. And Vishwamitra took Janaka aside and said, please let my young friend here, this Ram, let him try the bow. So Ram took Rudra's bow, and he bent it easily. He bent it so much that the bow cracked, and a great boom went through the kingdom. And a handmaiden ran in to Sita and said, did you hear that sound? Someone has not only strung the bow, but has broken it. Oh, said Sita, please let it be that young man I saw from the balcony. If it is not, I don't know what I will do. But of course, it was Ram. None other in this time could have performed that. So the wedding was arranged, and Dasharatha and Ram's other brothers and the three queens came from Ayodhya to Mithilia to witness the great marriage and celebration. Now, the pundits and the astrologers picked the perfect moment for the wedding to take place, for it is said that when a couple marries in precisely the right moment, they will live a life of undisturbed bliss. However, the gods did not wish for Ram to live a life free of conflict. Conflict would be necessary for him to fulfill the divine dharma of resurrecting the balance and restoring the dharma. And so the gods sent down to this wedding feast, they sent the moon, and the moon danced beautifully in front of the priests and the astrologers. The moon danced and so beguiled them that they forgot for a moment, and they lost awareness of the time, and the proper moment, the precise moment, unwound from the spool of time. King Dasharatha came out of the grief room and walked out to the road, and he saw his two sons, Ram and Lakshmana, and his precious daughter-in-law Sita down the road, disappearing into the distance. And he fell down, and he took the dust of the road and poured it on his head and beat his chest in grief. But then a memory came to him from his past, an illumination. He remembered in his young days when he was proud of his prowess as a hunter. He was known as one who could locate game and shoot it by the sound only. He did not have to look. He put an arrow in his bow and shoot towards the sound. He never failed. One day, he was hunting in the forest, and he heard an elephant lifting water with its trunk from a brook. And he affixed an arrow to his bow, and he shot in that direction. And he was surprised to hear a human voice cry out, "Oh, I am slain!" And he went running towards the sound, and he saw that it was a Brahmin youth who had been taking water from the brook in a bucket. And the dying youth said, "You must do me one favor since you have taken my life. Take this water and my body to my blind parents who live in a hut not far from here. I bring water to them every day." The future king, Dasharatha, picked up the dying and now dead body and the water and took it to the hut. And he had to tell those parents what he had done, that he had taken the life of their son. And the old blind father said, I curse you. May you, in your old age, may you be robbed of the prop of your age. May that which you love be taken from you. And Dasharatha saw his sons and his daughter walking down the road, and he knew, yes, karma is inexorable and it is just. And resigning himself to this working out of his karma, he gave up his life. The spirit departed from him, and he gave up his life in peace and resignation, and his own knots of karma were released. Jai Dasharatha. Blessings on you, great king. You have earned a great rest. No one knew any hunger in your kingdom. No one knew any want. Is there a king or leader in the world today that could say that? Jai Dasharatha. Now they came, in their wanderings, they came in time to the land and kingdom of Kishkinda, which is a land of monkeys. And outside of Kishkinda, they encountered two monkeys. One was Sugriva, who had been king in Kishkinda, but was exiled by his more powerful brother Bali, who had also taken Sugriva's wife. And he had banished Sugriva to the outskirts. He had one companion with him, this other monkey that was there, who was very, very handsome. And this monkey's name was Hanuman. And this monkey, as he looked at Ram, he felt something he had never felt before, and he remembered the words of his father long ago. His father was Vayu, the king and god of the wind. And his father had said to him when he was very young, you have incarnated as a monkey in this life to serve and be devoted to Vishnu. And you will know Vishnu in this life when you meet him. You will know him by certain signs, but also by a feeling. You will have the feeling that you do not want to ever be out of his presence. And Hanuman felt this. And so Hanuman was the first in this realm of being to recognize Vishnu as Ram. Jai Hanuman. And Hanuman climbed down from a tree, and he said to Sita, do not worry, Sita. Ram is close. He is nearby. He has sent me to find you. And Sita said, oh, if I could only believe that, but I have endured so many mayas. I have even seen what was supposed to be Ram's head. They have tried to trick me in so many ways. Perhaps you are a maya. He said, do you recognize this? And he showed her the ring. And she said, yes, this is Ram's ring. Indeed, you are from Ram. Now they had Hanuman captured. They had him bound in chains. And they wrapped around his tail rags which had been dipped in oil. And they set those rags on fire. And Hanuman grew big, bigger, bigger. And he broke those chains that bound him, and he leapt across the rooftops of the houses in Sri Lanka, and with his burning tail, he set fire to all of those houses to make the entry easier for the armies. He set ablaze Sri Lanka. Jai Hanuman. And now they knew where Sita was, and so all the armies traveled south, and they came to the very tip, and there was the water. How to cross it? All of the animals started gathering boulders and pushing them into the water. And the squirrels came with little pebbles to fill in the chinks in the boulders. And they went across. And where they could find nothing else to put an animal would stretch its own body. And bit by bit, the armies crossed the great waters and entered Sri Lanka, the palace of Ravana, so that the battles could begin. Well, there came a time in this battle when all of Ram's forces, all of the monkeys, the bears, the tigers, all of them, even his brother Lakshmana, were slain. They were lying dead on the battlefield. Now there was a divine physician named Dhanvantari who had come to serve Ram's forces. And he said, all of these warriors can be brought back to life if a certain herb which grows on Mount Mandara be brought here and it be administered to them within a certain period of time. It has to be within a day. It seemed impossible. But Hanuman, who had been spared, said, I will go. I will fly off, and I will return within a day. And Hanuman leapt and flew through the air, and he went far north to Mount Mandara. And he got there, and he looked around, and he could not tell which herb was the medicinal herb to use. So what did Hanuman do? He lifted the entire Mount Mandara in the palm of his hand, and he flew back with it. And this is one of a famous icon of Hanuman. It's probably the second most celebrated image, him flying with the mountain in his hand. The first is Hanuman opening his chest, and always living within it is Ram and Sita, eternally united. He flew back. Jai Hanuman! Jai Hanuman! And Ram was so happy. He wanted to give presents to everyone who had helped him. To Vibhishana, he gave the kingdom of Sri Lanka so that it could be ruled by a just Rakshasa. To Jabavan, he gave many gifts. He looked around for a special gift for Hanuman. He went through the palace, he went through the whole land, and he came to the most exquisite diamond of the day, perfect diamond, and he gave it to Hanuman. And Hanuman looked at it and sniffed it, put it in his teeth, and ground his teeth down and ground that diamond to dust, and he spit it out. Pooey! It's worthless. Ram said it was the most valuable diamond in the land. And Hanuman said, I looked all over it, I looked inside it, I smelled it, and nowhere did I see the name of Ram on it. Anything which does not have Ram's name or does not partake of Ram's essence is worthless. It's trash. And indeed, it is said that when great Hanuman's time came and he left this mortal world, he gave up the spirit, his body was opened. And indeed, on every bone in his body was engraved the name Rama. Well then, said Ram, if this jewel wants to, what gift can I give you? What can I possibly give you? And Hanuman said, I want only one thing. Wherever and whenever the Ramayana is recited, I want to be there.